decided to change the direct drive coupling on your washer. That's a pretty easy job, really. All we're going to need, a flat blade screwdriver, 1/4-inch nut driver, and a Phillips screwdriver. Let me show you how it's done. First step in this repair, as usual, will be disconnect the power supply. The next step will be to disconnect 2 fill hoses, mark both the hot and the cold so that we don't get those mixed up. And then we need to remove the cabinet. There's 2 screws located at the back of the console, a Phillips head screw. There'll be 1 in each rear corner of the console. Next, we will slide the console forward, about 1/4 inch. Tilt upwards on it. You'll notice 3 little tabs on either side that slide into the top of the washer. So rotate that console forward. Now we need to remove the 2 retaining clips that hold the cabinet and top to the back panel. Take a flat blade screwdriver, insert it down in the first notch, tilt back with your screwdriver to release the tension on it, and the clip will come out. And we can disconnect the harness to the lid switch. There's a tab on it. We need to release. Now the whole back panel of the console will be freestanding. Next, we're going to take the cabinet and tilt it towards us. And slide it right off of the washer. Now our next step is tilt the washer onto its back, grip it from the front of the tub, hold it with 1 hand against the back of the back panel, push it backwards, and lay it gently on its back. Now that we've got the washer laying on its back, this is a little easier access to do this repair. The next step will be to remove the 2 clips that hold the pump to the motor. And just a spring clip. Just put a flat blade screwdriver under one edge of them, push them off the pump, turn them 90 degrees. Just a little T-hook on the bottom of them that fits into a slot on the motor. Lift the pump off of the motor and push it back out of the way. Next, we need to remove the 2 clips that hold the motor to the base frame. Remove the 2 hex head screws. Again, just taking a flat blade screwdriver and pry that clip loose. And again, it just has a T-hook on the bottom of them. The rear one will be a little harder to remove with the motor in place. So you can leave it there until you lift the motor. Now, next step will be remove the wire harness. Then we can lift the motor straight up. We'll see one portion of our direct drive coupling. portion is fastened to the transmission. We can take a flat blade screwdriver, reach in there, pop that off. It's a rubber coupling in the middle of it. The drive load is identical to the one on the motor shaft. There's a double D shaft on the motor, and the coupling is made it the same. Insert one onto the motor shaft. We'll put one onto the shaft coming out of the transmission. Set our new rubber coupling on that. Make sure the 4 mounting feet for the motor are still in place. Now the 2 mounting clips are firmly in place. You can replace these screws if you wish. It's not necessary. They're basically there for shipping only. Reinstall the wire harness. Make sure it's snugly in place and that the clip is locked in. Take our pump. Because the motor has been moved around a bit, it may not line up with the slot in the pump first off, so make sure that gets lined up and sits easily on top of the motor. And all 4 legs of the pump should fit into a little recess on the motor frame. Reinstall the pump clips. Now we're ready to stand the washer back up. Now that we've got everything back in place, time to stand our washer back up. We're ready to reinstall the cabinet. Our next step is to reinstall the cabinet. Tilt it slightly towards us, line it up with the base frame, tucking the front and bottom lip of the cabinet under the lip at the front of the base. Tilting it back into place, making sure that the tabs sticking up from the base line up with the slots in the bottom lip of the cabinet. Slide the back forward into place. Make sure it tucks in at the back of the cabinet. We'll reinstall the 2 retaining clips that secure the back to the cabinet. Hook them up under that slot on the back. And then just press them into place. Reconnect the harness to the lid switch. And we can roll the console forward, and we'll engage these tabs into the slots on the top cover. Once they're engaged, just pull the top or the console back into place and reinsert the 2 screws that hold the console to the top. Now we're ready to reconnect our fill hoses, keeping in mind that the hot water hose goes on the bottom, and to plug the washer back in.